Welcome to the Post Float Podcast.
Okay, dude. We should start following some current affairs too. Just stupid bullshit.
Think so?
Maybe. I don't
No.
know. Probably not. There's enough people who follow that.
Here's Tom with the weather.
Hey, Tom. How's it looking out there?
I was just kidding.
Oh. I wonder if Tom knows about this coronavirus.
Coronavirus sounds like it sucks.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fun.
Well, we're back.
Are we on?
We're on the Post Float Podcast. Been a while.
Yeah.
Dang, man.
It has been a while, and maybe we just let people know what's been going on. So we've been absent, not intentionally. 3 weeks ago, we were supposed to do a podcast. Murphy got sick, my daughter. The week after that, we rescheduled to do the podcast. I got sick. I got influenza.
Mm-hmm.
And then tonight, we were going to have a podcast. We were going to have Melissa on from GC Resolve.
Mm-hmm.
And she got sick.
Yeah. And like 4 weeks ago, we were going to record a podcast, and I was sick.
Oh, that's right, man. Jesus.
So, yeah. Thankfully, not
There's
the
nobody
coronavirus.
Yeah.
But
hopefully we don't have anybody else to get sick. But yeah, no, I would just bring a little lime, make it good.
Dude, I totally thought that was a joke when it first came out.
What?
Like
Oh, the
somebody was just
coronavirus?
like, "Oh, you got the coronavirus?" Just like, yeah, it's like the brown bottle flu, right? Like,
Yes, the
Not
coronavirus.
not exactly.
Wait, so you also have Lyme's disease, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep, you got problems, sir. You need to switch up your alcohol. Is that your mic?
Yeah, it was a little hot there.
Yeah, it was.
She was a little hot.
It sounded hot.
All right, that's better now, right?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, all right.
You know what? I was listening to Grady the other day
Yeah.
on the Beer 30, and he's got all kinds of fun little tools that we should just have on your laptop.
Ooh, yeah?
Yeah, like the dum-dum-tsh.
Oh, yeah, the soundboard thing.
Yeah.
I love that, dude.
We should totally have dumb stuff like that.
I'll work on that. I'll get like that the old school Arnold Schwarzenegger soundtrack soundboard.
He literally had Arnold on there.
Oh, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was old school. Like back when
That was his go-to.
he and I are about the same age, and when guys like us were in high school, the early 2000s, the soundboards were a brand new thing, and you could just go to a website and it would just be a soundboard, and then what you do is you prank call somebody and you pull that soundboard up, and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he says, "Who is your daddy and what does he do?" And the person on the other end is just going, "Why are you calling me?"
Your mic still hot?
I don't know, something's popping.
Yeah, you're popping. Jeez, man. Just gotta float.
So unprofessional.
Handle that.
I'm so unprofessional.
Coming at me too hot here.
All right, hang on.
So yeah, we actually had. Oh, there, you lost me. Now I can't hear myself either.
Oh yeah,
Should we start this thing over?
hang on,
What
come
we gonna
back.
do? What are we doing? What are we
You
doing?
there?
No, I still don't hear myself.
Hold on.
We don't need a soundboard, man. We already have enough issues.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
complicated enough for me.
Hello.
You still don't hear it?
I don't exist. That's all right. It's gonna be. Hey! There I am. I'm there.
All right, that was you.
That was. Yeah. You blame it on me? I can't even
And it
reach
was me.
anything.
Okay, that's better.
Okay.
All right.
We're good. Did you just turn mine down so far that I disappeared?
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
I thought it was mine.
I'm cool with that.
God, dude, I just got done floating. Give me a break.
I know. I'm super. I honestly could just stare out into space for the next another good half hour right now.
Dude, I didn't fall asleep or nothing in there. It was just me and my thoughts.
What are you thinking about?
Well, I was thinking about how fucking sore I am from working out. And then like it was cool, man, because it was just like stepping back and trying to, just doing the whole meditation thing. It was a very email inboxing kind of
nice.
float where I was in and out with that, and I was going through and checking all because this week is a big week for me. I got Lincoln Exposed this week. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so on top of like working out now, this week is going to be the second, or I guess week 3 for me of working out 3 times a week, but I'm adding 2 more workouts. So I'll be working out 5 days a week starting this week. And then you and I are doing like this 12-week thing where we work out 3 times a week. And so, yeah, I was just going through all that stuff and figuring that out, like trying to squeeze that in on top of 2 band practices, 4 shows this week. Well, I'm playing twice, but there's 4 nights of shows. If you don't know what Lincoln Exposed is, We are in Lincoln, Nebraska, and every year there is a really, really awesome local festival, and it usually like in the middle of February. It's usually 4 days. There's over 100 bands. Both of my bands are playing. But yeah, I got 4 nights of music to look forward to this week, which is fucking
What
awesome.
nights are you playing?
Both of my bands are playing on Friday night, Valentine's Day. We're closing out the Zoo Bar. Both
Right
bands are back to back, so that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, if you're in Lincoln and you have not heard of Lincoln Exposed, stop this
It's
right
cool,
now and Google it because it's great. I mean, $25 will get you 4 days, over 100 bands. I mean, it's a good cause, and you're helping your local music scene.
Yeah, and it's super professional. You don't have a bunch of jackasses out there. I mean, we always got a couple, but no, it's nice, man. You just go and you hear good tunes.
Oh, it's a ton of fun.
It is.
But it's a busy week for me. So I was putting all that together in the float tank today, and and then I'd kind of come in and out of like Dreamscapes, which was pretty cool. I did have it's like as soon as it happened, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to tell Levi about this, and I was like, I immediately thought he's not gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about, because if any of you out there have ever seen Pokemon. So what happened was like,
yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, first, like, it started like I don't know. It was kind of weird. Like I was, like my consciousness was kind of like an ocean, and like then all of a sudden, like I kind of stepped back, and then it was like I was looking out into the ocean, and then there was like wind like blowing across the ocean. It was like gray, and then it kind of started looking like an anime, kind of like a cartoon. It was like whoa, winds blowing across the ocean of my consciousness, and then all of a sudden, like I started like spinning like counterclockwise into this like circle shape, and then I unfurled as a Charizard, which is like a dragon-like fire creature character.
Okay.
And I kept swirling counterclockwise, and I was devolving into like the root creature, which is a Charmander. Like it's complicated.
Okay.
Levi.
Okay. Yeah.
but it was real
I'm
fast.
not ready for the birds and the bees yet.
It was
man.
real fast. It was just whoosh. I'm a Charizard, and then I'm devolving into a Charmander, and then I'm into a human, and then whoosh, and then back into the like ocean space, gray space. The wind is blowing back across the ocean, and I was just like, "Holy shit!" I got to Levi about that. I knew you wouldn't know what that was.
Damn it, dude. You didn't give me any of that before the float tank.
No,
It's messed up.
no, yeah.
Hold up.
Hey, what's up, man?
That's awesome,
dude. It was and then it's just like right back into like float mode, where I'm like back into checking the email inboxes, and I'm going, oh man, I'm feeling a little tense in that lat. Oh, this was fun.
Nice.
My left lat was like all tense, and I was just like, and it's just bing. The picture I have in my brain of what a
it would
lat
look like.
looks like is just like right there on the surface of consciousness, and I can feel it tighten it, and I'm like loosening. I was doing like what Vince was talking about last time he was on, and how he had that shoulder, and he was like focusing on his shoulder, and his shoulder felt more loose afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was doing the kind of same thing with my left lat. I was like, oh yeah, and then I felt it like loosen up, and then
Did it release?
Nice,
man.
Yeah. How's your float, Levi?
You know what? It was not. There was no Pokemon or women or anything pokey. But I meditated for a while. It was nice, man. And then I was just chilling. And I started asking myself some questions that I still haven't allowed myself to go too down. But just kind of goals. Not really goals, but yeah, goals.
You got some goals?
No, not a lot right now. We're so busy, dude.
Get some goals, bro.
I always have goals. I'm always building something or working on something or creating something. But right now we're so busy here that I really can't. I guess my 2-year goal would be to kind of peel myself away from the hands-on a lot of the and start building some more, but being able to make things more almost autonomous, like not autonomous, is that right? Autonomic. No, we'll still know it was Lost and Float who did it. It'll be fine. Anonymous. Is that what I said?
You know, you said autonomous, man.
Oh, okay,
autonomous.
autonomous.
I think that's
yes,
like the
that's
same
what
thing.
I want. That's the word. Yeah, I want to automate it more. I want to be able to kind of step back eventually and build some other stuff, because I was just curious in the tank. I'm like, make yourself financially as secure as you want. Take it to different levels. Okay, you're financially secure enough to do this or not have this fear. You're financially secure enough now to not have this fear. Okay, you just got an overabundance of ridiculous amount of money. You can do whatever you want. And I was just going through these different levels about, okay, so what would you do in each scenario? What would be your initial reaction? How would you live day to day? what would you be into? Because sometimes you lose those abilities to stop and be like, what am I into, man? Like, what do I do? What do you do, man? And sometimes you're just busy. You get busy and you're focused and you forget, sniff the flowers, whatever that might be. So it's like, hey, here's the deal. You have enough money to be financially secure, but not a ton of money to do whatever you want. And then what does that look like? What are you into? But it did get to the point of now you just have so much money, it's crazy. And that one's philanthropy. I mean, just right off the bat.
Yeah.
It's just scouring the world for the coolest shit ever and helping make that come true financially. And then, just kind of being a part of that. Because I found what I'm addicted to the most, what I'm into, I guess, no matter what it is just solving a problem. I love it. I love solving problems, man. Different problems take different money, things like that. But also, if I wasn't solving a problem, it'd probably just be garnering experience. Just garnering experience. But when you think about it, you got a family of 4 or whatever you have, that's 4 fucking plane tickets, man. That ain't cheap. So that hinders you a lot of your abilities to be able to do that. Obviously, what hinders me the most right now is I work every day. But anyway, that's what I thought about.
At that point, you got a private jet. You don't need 4 fucking plane tickets.
Well, that's what I'm saying, like those different levels. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever own a private jet. That just seems really like a terrible idea.
Yeah.
I don't
know, maybe it's like the best way to get shit done.
What the fuck am I going to do with a jet, man?
There's a problem
that's
needs
too much
solved
money.
in Ethiopia, philanthropist Levi.
Yeah, just take a chartered flight to Ethiopia. Don't be a dick. You don't need.
But you need to be there right now.
You don't need a Gulfstream and your own pilot or anything like that. Seems silly. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. I don't know. Don't listen to me. But maybe your sweetheart, you own 6 planes. John Travolta, he flies around like a freaking 747 or something.
Broken Arrow, dude.
That seems way overboard. Yeah. Fucking knows, man. But anyway, no. It was a dumb little question of like, you could do anything tomorrow. Then you're financially secure enough not to have to quote unquote have to do what you're doing right now. What do you do? And one of the first ones came to mind, though, you'd appreciate it, was I would just love to go get some lessons in an instrument.
Oh yeah.
I've always wanted to do that.
Dude, yeah.
Just maybe weekly or something like that, but just go hire an instructor and just go there and just have that time, have that hour of nope. But right now, I don't get those hours. Which, don't get me wrong, you'll make time to do whatever you want to do, for sure. But I already do that, right? I have my kids, I got working out, I got my business, my wife, and everything like that. And so I'm good, man. But if I carved out an hour right now just to go have that selfish desire to learn how to play an instrument, I kind of feel pretty shitty. Or like I could be doing other stuff.
Yeah.
So eventually I want to get some other things in line to where I do step back and be like, no, that's taken care of. We're good.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, dude, this busy season is pretty crazy here at Lost and Flow right now. It's
busy.
like, woo, like, it's great. It's a good problem. So yeah, that's that's a good problem for you to figure out, buddy. but no, man, I was listening to Brett Weinstein's podcast, The Portal. You should check it out. He was talking. He has like weird ads. And he has this ad that he made for this Fender guitar app that's out there where it'll teach you how to play guitar.
Nice.
Sounds like a pretty sweet app.
Yeah.
I haven't used it, but he's a big fan of it. I didn't know he played music.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and so he's playing he's playing the guitar on there, and he wrote a jingle for this thing. And he's like,
he writes jingles for these ads.
This is sweet. And then he was talking about it, how like one of the most human experiences you could ever experience is the experience of playing music with another human being.
With another human being?
Yeah. It's not just enough to play music
because you're connected on that level.
Yeah, dude,
that makes sense.
When he said that, it hit home with me. I was like, holy shit! Like,
I dig that actually.
That's
makes a lot of
like
sense.
the coolest feeling ever. Like when you and the boys are just throwing down. And you're in the moment, and there's a lot of improvising going on. You're just making shit up on the spot, and you're just talking. You're talking. You're speaking the language of music, and it's just, there's nothing like that.
Yeah, dude. I think almost everything has that caveat to where when you have a connection, you have a common goal. That's beautiful. Of course, music is a very easy one, right? You're both being artistic and creating simultaneously, and you can kind of start reading your people,
it's
each other.
Universal. You don't have to speak the same language. Like it's like you could be from Portugal, and we could jam.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's awesome, dude. I think there's a lot of people that kind of drift around this world and want connection, but don't have it. I think it crushes them a little bit. Because I'd say connection is probably one of my biggest values. to honestly feel a connection with somebody, to do that. And even when you're working with somebody in a job, having the same common goal is awesome too, because you're working towards the same goal. You can be completely decentralized where you're over here, they're over here. Maybe you can't even see or speak to each other, but you're working towards the same goal, and there's something cool and connected about that. So I can only assume that you throw this really artistic endeavor of music into it. It has all this, like you said, this universal language and all this history and all this, and the emotional response that you get just from that. Yeah, dude, that's got to be one of the coolest things you can do.
Because it's not just like
so
artistic.
I'm gonna start guitar lessons tomorrow.
it's like artistic, but it's also logical. You know what I mean? It's like the both sides of the, like they've done like fMRI studies with people like do play music, and when they think about music, like both sides of the brain are talking to each other. Like it's
Really?
the logical meets the
Yeah,
artistic.
it only makes sense. It has to be integrated.
Oh, it's so good.
I don't
for
see
the
how
brain.
you could do it with one or just mutually exclusive one
There's
side
this
or the other.
book called Music and the Brain, and I really want to get it because it's all about like the neurological side of music, man. It's like, it's got to be, can't be wrong.
It can't be wrong. Yeah, I need to learn how to play some. Harper started taking violin lessons. I don't know. I think she's on her like third or fourth one, but so I've been doing it with her.
That's where the money's at.
Yeah, well, we ain't no dummies. Okay, that's what Harper said.
Yes, like 5-year-old daughter's like, it's where the money's at, Dad.
I really wanted her to pick up the ukulele or something because I was like, this is a perfect excuse, right? Because I've always wanted to do this. I'm like, oh, if my daughter's gonna do it, I'm gonna do it at the exact same time. This is gonna be great. I have no guilty feelings. I get to do the selfish endeavor of learning music. I'm gonna learn it with my daughter. Win-win. And she chose violin. And yeah, she told me that's where the money's at. So anyway, yeah, she's been picking up the violin, but I've been going over it with her, and it's pretty cool just how much you learn really fast. Even just this, that's going to translate to everything. Like you said, it's a universal language. So like right now I'm learning like the scales, and I'm learning the measures and the bars and the tempos. And like right now it's just simple, just 4/4, you know? So, but learning how to do the open chords, how to change them, it's pretty awesome. But just learning that with my daughter for 3 weeks gives me confidence. Like, oh yeah, I could learn how to play an instrument.
Dude.
I could learn how to read music.
It's so crazy. Like once you start getting into like the intricacies of rhythm and shit, man. Like,
oh, I'm not ready for that yet.
Oh, dude, yeah, you are. If you could hold a conversation,
I can't do that either.
Yeah, it's like you can learn about rhythm because that's what it's all about. It's all about like cadence,
yeah,
and rhythm and
right
timing.
Now it's awesome because she's just doing the 4/4, and like,
yeah.
So just can you just keep that rhythm, man. And of course, I think she finally gets to pull out the bow maybe next week.
Ooh,
yeah.
Busting out the bow.
So right now she's just picking, and but it's so different because it's different than a guitar. There's no frets.
Yeah,
it's weird, man. Not that I would understand completely what the differences are, but I'm wondering if it'll translate since it's string, and I mean it's got to translate in a number of ways, but I wonder if it could translate pretty easily.
I don't know
either.
I've never had a lesson. I've had a couple from Todd Poor.
She's got 4 strings.
I was already, like an adult by then.
But just the dumbest things I've learned already. That like when you talk to me and I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense. How there's just A through G.
Yeah.
That's it. And it starts over.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's so crazy. And dude, you can get into the weeds with some shit with it, dude. Like there's a lot of hippie bullshit out there when it comes to music.
What?
And frequencies and all this shit.
Fuck,
man. It's all over my head. I don't know if any of it's real, but it sounds like a bunch of bullshit. But there's a lot of cool stuff too, man. Like there's a lot of cool stuff too.
I can't do it anymore. I didn't know hippies played music.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Just kidding. I love you, hippies. I love everybody.
Oh man. Yeah. Hi, Mom.
I know, right? My mom's the biggest hippie ever.
Oh.
Yeah. So of course we get us together. We kind of go nowhere and everywhere, but this is post float, man. I don't know. It's interesting to stop and check in with yourself and realize, what are you doing, man? Fuck. So much of life is predicated on just garnering things or getting somewhere, or competing with the Joneses, all these things that you do. Every week I check in, I have the same realization that if you don't check in, you're literally just kind of just going with the flow in this weird world of more depressed people, more anxious people, more, I don't know, dude.
Oh, man. I was kind of thinking about this in the float tank about.
But how do you do less and have more, from the peace and the happiness standpoint without knowing what the hell you want?
Right? Like, you just got to do it.
Well, I mean, I think we can say it for ourselves, right? We've, I guess, done it or do it, or I'm very content with my life. But I think I see a lot of people too, where the first advice is like, well, what are you into, man? Like I asked, just a minute ago, like, so what hobby? Like, I don't know. Well, what do you, go do that? I don't know what that is. There's literally a point right off the get-go. If you're an unskilled laborer or whatever, but it's like, okay, so you work obviously financially to be able to eat, survive, etc. There's this conversation without money doesn't work. We got to edit this from like 2 minutes back.
Why?
Because I've done this goddamn conversation so many times. But so whatever we're at right now, we're cutting that and we're going back. And I'm going to say this.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of people who just, they hear this weird advice like, don't go be at a cubicle, don't go do that. And that doesn't mean anything. I think it's just a place you are in your mind, in your head.
Oh, okay.
And if you want to go and you are going to compete with the Joneses, whatever, dude, if it compels you and it makes you happy, fuck it, do it. It really, I'm serious. But you always seem to hear the advice come from these people that quote unquote know something like, man, get out of that fucking rat race, dude. You got to go do something else. But they don't ever fucking draw you a picture, man. They don't hand you a map. Mm-hmm. But they tell you all this sweet-sounding advice and how we're all just kind of cogs in this machine that's been systematically created to make us get these terrible educations and keep creating material endeavors so that people will go and consume them. But how much is that accurate? What the fuck else would you be doing is my question. Like, I have a feeling that there's a lot of people that, if you could just shut it all off, would be like, fuck, turn it back on. And my point being is, like, you brought up that music, that connection, stuff like that. Like, even when I talk about the military, I love the military because we had you are in a team, man, and you're working for a common goal and you all take care of each other and everybody wants to accomplish the mission. And it's such a cool thing. Hopefully it's a good mission. Anybody listening to this immediately jumps to conclusions. But there's something really beautiful about being with your team, your brothers and your sisters, to accomplish a selfless mission. And you just do it. That is it. There's no wondering. There's no questioning. Like, you just have like these orders, yes, or this mission that you need to complete, this way you need to complete it. But then once you learn certain skills, certain languages, certain everything else, you aren't like micromanaged anymore. You can decentralize, where basically you're expected to know enough, you know what the mission is, and you go and you get it done, no matter where you are.
You're like trained to have a level of discipline to be able to do that.
100%. But that's my point, is like there's a real beauty in this connection of trying to accomplish the same mission with other people and doing that thing. But you're right. There is a certain level of, hey, we got these A, B's, and C's first. We got this stuff, man. We got this, we got this common goal. If you just strip that away, what's the common goal, I guess? From like a college student who's leaving high school and needs to go make a living, be financially sound, maybe meet somebody. What else should they do?
Yeah, right. Like whatever it is that makes you happy, right? But it's like,
right,
you have to
but that sounds
that
so
out.
weird when you say like whatever makes you happy, But
it's like, yeah, you got to figure that out.
But you still got to do something.
You gotta, it's like just do something. Like start the fucking guitar lessons, and then like when you go to that guitar lessons, and you're just like, oh, this isn't really my thing. Like,
that's true. Then you'll know.
Yeah, or maybe that would like open the door to like a bass lesson. Maybe bass is your thing. You know what I mean? You would find a different instrument, like, or you could find a different path. Like, just go through the door, because the door will lead you to the next path, and that'll lead you to the next thing, and the next thing. You just keep going, because there really is no finish line. Like, it's all about life experience and garnering life experience and continuing to learn, because like that's the point. I think
like, a lot of people are wondering what to learn. And
anything.
that's what I
I'm just like,
agree with what
anything.
you're saying. Just anything.
Like, just
do it for a week.
Like,
and
you're living in the most.
You're
living in a universe. You're living inside a living universe. Your fucking body itself. Start learning about that.
Yeah, that's
a great place to start, because you get to interactive. Like interface. You know what I mean? Like, oh man.
I always wonder if it also has to. And I probably brought this up a million times before too. But that you're almost not encouraged to just be mediocre. I think there's a real power and stopping this
yeah.
whole peace special. Like my kids, like you're special, you're special, you're special. And then you got this weird thing where you're supposed to be special. You're supposed to do something awesome. You're supposed to be the fastest, or the jump the highest, or be the smartest, or play the best, or be the most unique or creative. And I think that's a hindrance.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that stops people dead in their tracks before they do just go do something, because they think, well, somebody already does it at this level. I'd have to do it there to understand. But like, no, you'll understand right away. And dude, if you like slapping some fucking pottery together on a goddamn wheel, and maybe you make an ashtray, but it does it for you, man, I don't think you're gonna care, right?
Yeah, dude. I was pretty lucky. I would say I'd say I was like lucky, like growing up, because I had like some pretty free range parenting. You know,
Yeah,
like,
right.
So I didn't have a lot of that like indoctrination, so to say. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, where's the balance from the structural indoctrination, I guess, if you want to say it that way, versus the free range ability? You know,
because dude, like,
I think the two can cohabitate.
It's for me, like, it took a long time, but like I've always been kind of honest with my level of inadequacies, like my mediocreness. Like I've always been pretty honest with that.
Yeah.
Like, because I never did sports.
You have no grandiose desires.
Never even did music until I was 15. And like when I was 15, that was when I went out for my first sport. I was a sophomore in high school, went out for football, and then the same year I went out for wrestling. And then the rest of my high school, I just went out for wrestling because I didn't really like football. Football sucked. It was like there's so much going on, and it's like all complicated and shit. I never learned. I don't know the rules.
I don't know.
They didn't care to teach me. But wrestling was like individual sport, but we were also a team, so we had that kind of thing going. So it was like,
and you got the connection too, is how much it sucks. Just same with football or anything else, but there's something, man, when you finish fucking a practice of wrestling or whatever, or like go through a season, like those other people went through hell too.
Oh yeah, but I mean, and at the same time, 3 years of wrestling, I won all of 2 matches. Right? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I sucked ass, but I liked it. I had fun, and I was fucking doing it for that. Like, I wasn't doing it to win.
Right.
I was doing it to like, dude,
you didn't let yourself, the ability that you sucked at wrestling, make wrestling suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
You suck at wrestling, and you still liked wrestling.
I was very like,
that's fucking fun.
Mediocre would be nice when it comes to that.
A slightly below average.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, and so it's like I've always kind of had that level. So it's like I've never really had like this like pride, shame thing when it comes to my abilities. It was just like this level of acceptance of this is where I'm at, this is where I'd like to be, but like I gotta get there, and I have to like figure out how to sacrifice all this other shit I want to do to get there. Is it worth getting there? All these things that I have to reconcile, but. Like, I don't know. It's like, I think for most people, it's a matter of just fucking taking some time for yourself to like really, really be honest with where you're at. Where are you at? Like, it's probably just mediocre, maybe slightly below average, and that's okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
better than okay, man.
It's like you have to recognize that and start there, because that's a great place to start. That's where most people are. Like, you know what I mean? Most people aren't fucking their Instagram pictures that they put up, or like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the cool shit you want to put out. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to live that. Be cool. Just not
be cool, not being cool.
Yeah, not being cool, man. Like, it's a great way of it.
I like that. Yeah, sure. Be cool, not being cool.
Yeah, because dude, I'm a nerd all the time, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. And sometimes I'm cool. Sometimes I get on stage and I can play this instrument.
Yeah, we all have our moments.
But yeah, it's like we all have our moments, man. Most of the time, I'm a doofus.
Dude, most of the time, I'm so boring.
Yeah.
I just, most of the time, I ain't got nothing for you, man. But man, sometimes, the times I hit it a lot too, or I get in the stride, is usually when I'm hanging out with my 5-year-old and my 3-year-old, dude. And then all of a sudden because you're busy and you got this shit, and then you shut it off. You gotta ask yourself where I am right now. Be like, no, dude, I'm not saving the world. Nuclear disaster is not gonna be, a thing if I don't stop for the next hour doing whatever the fuck it is I'm doing.
Yeah.
We're not averting any crazy disaster. Coronavirus is coming whether I answer that next email or not, man.
They made it to Ashland, dude.
Yeah, well, they flew him into Ashland intentionally.
I know, it's crazy.
But hanging out with my daughter. So my daughter's really cool in the fact that it doesn't stop her. It actually blows my mind, though, because when my daughter makes art and stuff right now, I try my hardest not to be like, that's the fucking most amazing thing I've ever seen come out of a 5-year-old, because I do kind of feel that, but I also don't want it to like have this somehow negative impact on doing that. So Gino is always like, just tell her you love watching her create. Like, okay. So I do that. I'm like, man, I love watching you create, But she doesn't give a shit, man. Like if she can't perfect or whatever, she just starts doing. She literally is the emphasis of what you're saying about doing. And she freaks me out.
Oh, dude.
The stuff she builds stuff at a degree and a rate, it just freaks me out, man. Like she just made a moon last night real quick. We're just sitting there and I'm helping her and I'm just watching her and I want to get involved, but I don't want to get involved because I also do want to get involved because it looks fun, but I try not to
burst her little bubble.
Not so much burst her bubble. I'd rather have her keep this momentum of allowing herself not to think that somebody needs to show her how to do it. It's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm trying to bring this all back.
Fueling herself.
Yeah, so she's already at that part, man, where it's just like self-exploration and it's almost infinite in nature, and that goes away for a lot of us. Where, like you said, man, you're like, well, what should I do? You do anything. I don't know. Go walk around the block 3 times right now and try not to step on a crack. I don't know. That's something. But
see where your mind goes.
Yeah, just see where your mind goes. Exactly. That's my whole point. Is your mind's gonna go somewhere if you give it an opportunity where you're not forcing it for fun. It's like going out with your friends one night and be like, hey, okay, guys, all right, next weekend was a fluke, but tonight we're gonna have fun. Okay, like we're all gonna hang out. We're gonna have a real good time. You good?
Check all these fun boxes off.
Yeah. Fuck, dude. No, I'm still just me, man, the boring guy sitting here. I can't wait to have a nice IPA, shoot shit with you, hear what you've been up to. But yeah, I don't know what that means. I can't just enforce fun. It doesn't exist.
The fun enforcer.
The fun enforcer, man. But you also don't want to come across as like a fun sponge, I guess, or negative Nancy. But the thing is, I think I'm literally just. This shit comes right off the top of my head. It's terrible. But these are the moments where I get excited because these are the conversations I do think go through people's heads that are fun conversations about like, dude, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
What do I do now, man?
Right.
Like, I can see how people also have that fear of success that you hear so much about. Right? Like, you hear so many people, like, they start getting successful and then it freaks them out.
Oh, yeah?
Well, because they've almost had their tunnel. They've almost been so laser focused on this thing. There's nothing really outside of that.
Ooh, yeah.
So if you succeed,
catching the carrot,
it's scary. Like if you catch the carrot, well, then you have to answer the question like, what was the carrot for? What was it going to set up? What are you going to do next? You're like, fuck, I don't know, man. I didn't really think that far ahead.
Yeah, dude.
And maybe that's just a little freedom to then go walk around the block again and try not to step on a crack, come up with another idea.
Oh, man.
That's usually mine.
Yeah.
Mine is just like so I can have more, I don't know. It's kind of a clarity thing. The more I can move off of a table or whatever that I'm working on, as long as I take it and I take it to fruition, I finish it, then I'm like, whoa, okay, well, what is next? I like those feelings.
Yeah, yeah.
It's scary.
Oh, yeah.
But I dig that. And it's weird to be in a project like owning your own business now, though, because that's 2 years away.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? Like, when it used to be like you could do the way more often. And now I can't. But honestly, how many jobs have you had, dude? How often? Well, on average, I don't think I ever worked at a place more than like 4 years. Was 3 to 4 years was kind of my max. Where I was like, I'm tapped out, dude. Something new, something totally new. So it's almost like I don't have like this big backpack of these skills. Like if Lost and Float failed tomorrow, I'd probably be fucked. Right?
Me too.
Because you gave up these skills, like these opportunities. Like I used to do networking, I used to do this stuff, and I don't have them anymore. I do something new. I do something different. It's interesting, though. It's pretty fun. But
you'd garner new skills. You'd figure it out.
But what would you want to do next? Assuming you had to do something tomorrow, man.
I don't know. I'd
have to just go get like fucking.
I mean, I might like
a
get
job,
like some odd jobs and shit to try and figure out like this music thing or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
like that's always an option, but it'd be it's a fucking can of worms, man. You got to kind of open the can of worms and really go deep and figure out like
that's
what's
what
your
I was
passion.
Try to bring it back to, right? So no
what
matter
what,
you got to work, right?
Yeah.
You need to make money. So it's hard to combine those two. Like, what do you do, man? You don't have these skills,
man.
But you also have to make money, which is going to take a bunch of time. So you got some fucking decisions to make.
Yeah, I was like super into punk rock.
Yeah,
growing up, and so like bringing those two together for me was cognitive dissonance. This was not in the realm of possibility of bringing together like art and business. You know what I mean? Like,
right, yeah.
Like bringing together my talent, like whatever my creative endeavor was, with making money.
Marketing it.
Yeah. Those two would never make a sandwich. Like they just don't jive. And it took forever for me to go. I had to take time to sit back and go, why the fuck am I even doing this? Like, why do I really care? Like, about not selling this thing that I love to do.
Yeah.
And all that. And it's just like, it kind of came down to like checking my boxes, you know, like seeing, hey, does this line with my values? Like I have to work. I'm working no matter what.
Right.
Like, does the person I'm working for have better values than I do? Probably not. Maybe they do, but if they do, I need to get my shit together and get my values in line first.
Yeah.
And then once my values are in line, now I can like start, you know, it's like, why shouldn't I put my artistic, my creative dreams towards my ethical values of how to sell it, how to, you know what I mean? Because I'm doing that no matter what, working some dead end job, or I could be selling my creative project ethically, like if it's something I believe in passionately. And like now that I'm like here at Lost and Float, like doing this flowing thing, I'm just like, yeah, like I feel comfortable doing that. I feel comfortable selling this thing because I truly believe in it. And same thing with like my music now. I'm like, now that I'm taking this over into music, it's just like, okay, yeah, like I do feel comfortable like looking into a market and finding out where we fit in this whole music industry, because it is an industry. It's a shitty industry, but it's a music industry. It's a business.
Yeah.
And just trying to break even at the very least, because damn.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time, a lot of money.
You got to be a creative cat,
a lot of
dude.
effort. And it's like, dude, I remember having this conversation. It was definitely a loose conversation where I was just like, I'll never sell music ever.
The whole sellout conversation.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That's the worst, man. It's a weird ideology that people want you to fully subscribe to.
Yeah.
I don't.
It was like my own little religion I formed where I was just like,
it's not your religion,
come
man.
join the church of non-sellouts.
Dude, that's a religion that
out.
has had full-fledged members for quite some time.
Right,
man.
right. Yeah, I thought I was
Anton
LaVey of that church.
It's
but
like
I was
the
not.
woke religion or something. It's weird, man, where you can't even kind of dip out of that a little bit, man. And you're the fucking problem.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean,
listen, bitch, if I'm
crazy.
making awesome music and I'm in my basement, I love what I do and I'm happy, and somebody digs that music, wants to pay me for it, fucking right on.
It's like the whole reason I've heard any music that I've ever enjoyed is because somebody took the time to market it to
what
my
should they
dumb
do,
ass.
man? Just like not do that, not let it go out there? It makes no sense. I hate it.
It really does.
I find it hilarious. Like more power to the people that did it on their own and didn't want to sell out, I guess, in a certain way. Like Beastie Boys, that was their big thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They would you'll never hear them on a commercial, no matter what. I mean, even in the wheel, ain't happening, dude. You guys are gonna, stick to this truce that we made. But if you want your music to be on a commercial, does that make you a worse or better person, man? Like you said, it's more about just you being cognizant of your own individual values, dude. If you feel dissonance, you feel dissonance, period. If you feel resonance, you feel resonance. That's just the way it is, man. And that's the other thing is like not changing yourself to sell the music. Sometimes you can do that too, but people get pissed at, look, maybe people don't like the music I make, but I can play that other music and somebody will pay me a lot of money for it because I need a fucking job just like you do. You work at Walgreens, man, in the photo
that's one
booth,
thing.
so.
That's one thing I have yet to do is.
Well,
is
I'm not saying
to give.
I'm just saying
those.
there's nothing wrong with it though.
No, yeah. If you want to do it, power to you. But
like, what's the difference? Seriously, going over to Walgreens across the street right here and doing people's photos versus. I'm a musician. I love playing my own music, and I'll market. I don't need people who like my music will buy my music. That's awesome. That's this beautiful thing. But I can also play this other shit that people will pay me to play. Now I'm gonna go to Walgreens and fucking develop people's photos instead for $10 an hour. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's like
unless that's with your values.
Yeah. For me, it's like
sorry the cushion though.
I don't want to sacrifice my art.
You don't have to.
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
right?
So it's like that's one thing we do really well with the groups I play in is like we stick to what we want to. It's like we play music that we want to hear,
right?
And then
that's your
sell
art.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like try to like this would sell.
But imagine
if I
this.
wrote it this way.
This is what I'm saying though. Write
that.
that music. Try to sell that music. If it sells, great. If it doesn't, great. Whatever.
Right.
But
yeah, if it doesn't, great.
Let's just say you don't have a job at
tried.
Lost and Float right now. But you don't have to get ready. You don't have to make yourself different. You can still play the music you love to play and try to sell that music for sure. But on the fucking side, you can have a job, where you write different music and people pay you for it.
Yeah.
I just,
It's
you
like,
know.
see, I've definitely thought of that too, where I could do that under a completely different fake name.
Almost like
Nobody even
alias it
know
out,
it was
dude.
me.
Right. You could just be that guy.
If it works, it works. I
Yeah.
mean, I definitely, hey, if we go under, I'm willing to try. God damn, I hope we don't go under.
But honestly, though, no, all joking aside, man, you just recorded literally your very first album with both the bands that are going to be playing Friday night.
Yep.
So they're
Pretty pumped about that.
albums aren't out yet, but yeah, tell everybody about that, man. Who are these bands?
Woo! Mr. McMoney that I play original music with, and Pure Brown that I play in a Nintendo cover band with, both recorded at 2 different studios here in Nebraska, and man, it feels good.
What's the coolest part of the recording process?
Dude,
Is it when you got to hear a little sample track, or is it the process?
it's just I don't know, man. Like, it's like 2 sides of the coin. Just like being there, like
connecting.
getting that connection going, and not like it's like I'm not there. There's just the process. You know what I mean?
That's
like
what I'm talking about.
it's
that
just
team
like I'm not there. Just the team is there, and we're there
for a mission.
for the mission,
Yep.
and we are accomplishing this mission of recording this album. And dude, like when the original band, Mr. McMoney, was in the studio, it was a tight squeeze getting all this shit done in the amount of time that we had. And the engineer even kind of sat us down on the second day. I was like, I don't know if we're gonna get all this stuff done today, guys, but we just buckled down and nailed all our parts, and because we rehearsed the shit out of the stuff and we were ready to go. And so it was great. And so just being there and developing this and having this thing happen like right in front of my eyes is just like was so cool. And then like 3 weeks later, getting an email and opening up that email and throwing it on my stereo and cranking it up and hearing me coming out of my speakers and feeling good about it.
Right.
There's nothing like that in the world. Like there's not, because it's like we literally
you guys
write this
did the
music
work
for ourselves. You know what I mean? Like we wrote music we want to hear because we're, I don't know, sick of music. I don't know. It's just like,
yeah, you have a certain music you want to hear and you
like,
created it.
you listen to so much music, like there's like you kind of start to see a void that needs fill, and it's like, oh, that's what I want. So that's what we do. And man, like when it comes back and it just sounds so good, James Fleege, man, you're the shit. It sounds good. It sounds good, dude.
That's so badass.
And so it's like, yeah, man, like putting all the work in and doing the work.
So
and being
how's
there,
everybody going to get to hear
and
this?
then like having it come back.
And when?
It'll be later this year. I don't know when.
Like it's
our
February,
time
dude.
frame. I mean, like average, like when you hear an album, it's probably like 7 months. Like that was recorded.
Yeah, but you're
almost
out of the
a year
studio
ago.
done now, right? I mean, oh, really? So
Yeah.
7 months after you've put down everything.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because there's a lot that goes into it. Because it's like got to get mixed, which takes a long time. It's got to get mastered, which is a completely different company. That takes a long time. Then it's got to get pressed.
But once you have them
distributed.
mastered, you'll have digital copies of this.
And you
right?
don't make your released party until you have your
pressed album
in hand. So that's a long time of waiting to get there, and then that's when you start. So it's like it's gonna be a while, folks. But we're playing Friday night at the Zuba.
I think you should change up the game, man. I want to hear you this summer. I want to hear, like, dude, when we go out, like Glacial Teals, different places like that. Oh, what's the park, dude? I can never forget it. Down on like
Jazz in June.
Yeah, the park is there. I can't even remember. But they don't. It's not just Jazz in June. They do other stuff too.
Yeah.
You guys need to be playing these places.
I know. I'm gonna try to get a like an early release or something, so I can start sending out to
just so you can
venues
hey, we want to
and
come
stuff
play
and stuff, so we can start getting our foot in the door of
guys'
before
stuff
we
is awesome.
release the music. But oh, dude, this is gonna be really the hard part.
The
right
crazy
now.
thing is all you got to do is get heard. That's it.
Yeah.
And a large majority of people that hear you are gonna be like, "That's really good fucking music. That's music for musicians. That has it just has a lot in it. It's got funk in it.
You got to be smart about it, man. Like
I'm sure,
just like
dude.
Chael Sonnen says, you're the end of your fight is the beginning of the promotion for your next fight. So it's like this album release, we got to have our next album release on the back burner ready to go because the process takes so long. By the time we're ready to release this one, that next one needs to be started and going. So it's like there's a lot to juggle.
When
to
Tool came out with their new album, you tell me that. So they didn't line up any tours, anything like that. Obviously, they got tons of resources and abilities, but so how they set up a whole tour and everything though before this thing was pressed.
Yeah. No. They had their material in
Before
hand
they even had
before
tour
they even
dates?
started setting their tour dates up. Yep.
No shit.
Because you do not.
How?
Because dude, shit can happen. Like, there's a fire right now at the world's like most like largest vinyl distributing companies.
Yeah.
So especially right now, if you're looking to get a vinyl press, which we are, the odds are it's going to get pushed back. So
Yeah,
stuff
but
like
you
that
really
happens
have to even
all
have
the
the
time.
vinyl now that we have the digital realm.
Even the
of
digital realm, like
album.
sending your stuff in to get digital stuff, the turnaround's a little faster. But like if you want to get CDs for your shows, if you want to get merchandise pressed, like all that stuff, I mean, like you don't want to have a show and have T-shirts for sale, but not your CD. You know what I mean? Because stuff
that
gets
is weird.
shit happens.
I can't remember the last time I bought a CD, dude. I can't. Even when I go to shows, I don't buy a CD. I already have the fucking album.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have it in the cloud.
It's a big seller. CDs are still a big seller.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I just used our CD player in the car for the first time the
Yeah?
other day. Yeah. String Beans, it's a local band.
Ah, yeah.
We saw their CD release party there for like kids.
Nice.
We bought their CD when we were there. So
Dude,
I lied.
that's a market I thought about.
Dude, it
dipping
was
my
fun.
toes
They're
in,
pretty
man.
good.
I
wish I could give them a shout out right now, but I'm pretty sure they're called the String Beans.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's them.
And yeah, they're awesome, man. Their
like
music's
the Wiggles,
fun.
but for
Like they do a lot of fun shit on there. Yeah, it was good. I dug it.
yeah. I mean, it's just
The girls love listening to it.
and
So
there's a lot,
and
that
they're
goes
good
into it.
musicians. They're actually good musicians.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And oh man,
I think they live over by me. One of the guys.
really.
Yeah.
God
I said,
damn.
well, we met him actually walking, like the girls and Gina were walking the dog, and they met this dude and his dog. So they had said hi to him, and they was like, hey, we're having one of our CD release parties tonight. You guys should come watch it. So we did.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's pretty good. I think it was like their 9th or 10th album.
Dude.
And they've been with the same producer the whole time. He was there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, that'd be a lot of fun to do stuff for kids and stuff. I would like to do that more. Oh boy, just another thing. That's my problem,
the thing,
dude.
too,
I'm
is-
over ambitious.
Do you think those guys make these albums for kids and just love the music they make? Or do they make these albums for kids and they make money off it and then they make music they love to make?
probably that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I'm sure
It's pretty catchy fucking music, dude. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
okay?
dude, I'm sure they do it
There's a song-
for the feeling of helping kids too. That's gotta be.
Oh, yeah.
They
There was literally
sleep
like...
really good at night. I'm
There was
sure.
probably like 10 kids at this thing just going nuts, you know, just jamming out, man. And I'm just sitting there.
I don't know. See, it's like I'm such a dummy, dude. Like if I were to write music for kids, it'd just wind up being a bunch of fart jokes and poop jokes and
That's
stuff.
all kids got.
I know.
That's
It's like I
good.
wouldn't like educate them. Like I would want to educate them, and it'd wind up just being.
These aren't educational.
Twist
These are like
humor.
comedy songs. I'll
Is
show
it?
you.
Okay.
I'll show you the album. It's clever, but it's not something you couldn't think of like within a day.
But it's like it's like that's where my value system lies. I think like it's like if I were to want to do something like that, it'd like have to have like some sort of educational manner to it, because I would want to.
Really? Yeah.
I don't want to take advantage of these kids, man. Like they got enough toilet humor coming at them already.
It's not like
I want to fish hook them with the toilet humor,
bring him in.
and then dump them.
You're gonna be like Bill Nye,
knowledge.
the
Yeah.
science guitar guy.
Yes, I would love to do
It's a
that.
terrible idea.
No, it's a great idea.
Kids
Bill
just
Nye
wanna
got
move,
me into science,
man.
dude.
Yeah.
Like,
No, that's
I don't
true.
know what he's doing now.
He's still doing it. He's still rocking it, man.
See,
But yeah, I know
It's
that
like
show.
it's a weird thing. It's like I try to get into it now, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not a little kid anymore. Same thing with like Pee Wee. I'm not like a little kid anymore.
Yeah, I never got into the Pee-wee's Playhouse, right?
Oh, dude, Pee Wee's Playhouse was my
I remember a tiny little bit. I remember, didn't he have a giant ball of tin foil or aluminum foil, something like that?
Yes, that was so awesome. It was so ridiculous.
And then he spent too much time in public.
a little too much time in public.
Damn it, Pee-wee. Jesus, dude. Everybody's got their fetishes, all right?
Yeah, man.
You know, as long as, you know, I might get caught, it's a lot funner. It's okay. Pee Wee Herman, dude.
Yeah, dude. He's coming out. He's trying to come out with another like a rated R Pee Wee.
He'll never be like untainted from that. And it's, I
Oh,
don't
dude.
know.
If you ever saw him in the Cheech and Chong movies, you would expect this. You would
Yeah.
have expected
Oh,
this.
he's a weird dude.
He's a weird dude.
He's a
to
weird,
be having
weird
a
dude,
children's
man.
program. I mean, to begin with. So
How,
it's
can you?
like-
What was his laugh?
Ha
Yeah, that was it.
ha! Dude, he's.
Hey, speaking of kids, man, Jesse did something really rad. Because as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, every month we try to bring in a new local artist in the float shop. But this month, Jesse pimped out his nephew Chase, who is 10.
Yeah.
10. And so as you can see behind us, if you're watching this on YouTube, we got Batman logo up there. And then I think we have some different face expressions. But yeah, Chase did an awesome job, man. It's pretty cool. He's 10 years old and he got surprised by his uncle. His uncle put up his artwork on our walls, man. It's pretty dope. So
yeah.
maybe that is your calling, dude. You need to hang out with more kids.
Oh, dude, I was a preschool teacher. I was a preschool assistant.
I
I was a preschool assistant, not the teacher.
Sorry, I didn't mean to freak everybody out.
Yeah, right.
They kept him in the back, man.
Oh, dude, it was great. I was like, it was one of the most satisfying
You're
things
super
ever,
good
dude.
with my kids, too.
Like, that's the most
Kids,
beautiful picture I've ever seen.
I love being around kids, too. I
Oh,
love being
dude.
around kids just because I still remember. How influential people were to me. I still remember a lot. They're fucking kids, man. Like, we take these little Buddhas, kind of, and we just screw them all up, and then we tell them to be Buddhas again.
Yeah.
Like, that's what happened to us, right? Like, we go our whole life trying to go back to, like, this Zen Buddha thing. It's like, dude, you were already there once.
Mm-hmm.
We fucked you all up.
Yep.
And you're trying to get back. And I know that, and I'm still fucking my kids all up, because it's like, well, there's kind of this game you got to play where if you go sit on a tree for 40 days, nobody's going to take you seriously. And I don't know if it's feasible. You're going to get hungry. A lot of people don't, allow public access to bathrooms. So you might not just, you're going to have some issues, kid.
You gotta
have some issues.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, all of life is super complicated, and you're like,
Dude,
you got
all
it,
complicated.
You got it all, then you lose it, and then you're trying to get it all back.
Everything's complicated.
Ah, dude.
But it's beautiful nuance.
Yeah.
Like the nuance and the subtleties and the complications are what make it noteworthy in the first place, man. It's what makes it kind of fun. That's why there's no like, this is just the way it is, and if everybody would just do this, that's it. Minus just, be cool to each other.
I always thought that'd be a good song name. Noteworthy.
Noteworthy. That's gotta be taken. Hit the button, dude.
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
You sounded like Gru. I'm like Despicable Me.
My best Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh man. So what's up, dude? We
shit,
we
I
just
don't know.
kind of started
Yeah.
talking about nonsense. We apologize. We will get guests back on here. We will
Yeah.
start taking this thing serious. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll chop this one up good so you don't listen to our same
Nah, it'll be all right.
nonsense.
Well, I'm gonna play a little ditty here. I got a song.
Oh, hey, if we're getting ready to bow out here, what was I gonna say? Oh, Gallenstein, my wife, Gina, and one of our yoga instructors,
Did
Abby.
you say gallons time?
Yeah, so if you're a gal and you're
Oh, okay.
in Stein, you can come, I guess. Or
So this is like
if you
ladies' night?
identify as a gal, it's cool too. We don't, discriminate. But yeah, I think it's we just put out a Facebook event today. I think it's the 13th. Is that right? When's Valentine's Day? That's the 14th. Is that Friday?
It's next Friday, the 14th, when we're playing at the Zoo Bar.
Hey, they're playing at the Zoo Bar. If nobody's heard. Is it? What night don't we have the yoga at night or the late yoga? Is it Wednesday? I think it's this Wednesday.
Okay.
Or Thursday. I don't know. Just go online and look. But you can come and get pampered with the girls and have some nummies and do a yoga class. And Abby's going to give you like a shoulder and head massage at the end and everything. She's so good.
She's really good at that.
She's really good. So anyway, just come hang out with the girls, kick back, whatever you gals do when you get together, including yoga. So yeah, come to that. What else do we have right now? Anything going on crazy? No?
Nah. Just...
Get on the schedule. It's friggin' busy, man. So it books up way faster than normal.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I'm just super floaty.
Floaty, baby.
I'm going to learn how to play the guitar. That's what I'm going to do.
Prove it.
Set it in public right now. Oh, hey, UFC's coming to Lincoln again.
Shit, yeah, it is.
In April?
Yes, April 25th.
Right on, man. I can't. I'm sure they got the card up now.
Anthony Smith.
Yeah,
versus
Anthony
Glover
Lionheart Smith.
Torchera.
It's definitely not how I say his last name.
That's
but
not, I knew I butchered that, but
and
Anthony Smith is from
Portuguese.
Omaha.
He's from Brazil, dude. He's not from like Korea.
Yeah,
Torchera.
Glover Torchera. Torchera. Glover. We'll call him Glover. Anthony Smith versus Glover.
Stick with Glover. Yeah, so they're going to be here April, and
April
they're going to be
20th.
fighting at the Pinnacle Bank Arena. Maybe we'll help with
Yes.
some of the promotion this time because I feel like last year UFC didn't do a great job of promoting them, and those guys are so awesome. And what they do is
Yeah.
absolutely insane. They literally, they lay it out there in the most absurd way. Talking on a podcast is nothing compared to like being naked in front of millions of people that you are gonna potentially get your ass kicked. And all this work and everything you did could come down to the fact that you're freaking out inside, man. Some dude's gonna try to kill you. So, it's an amazing thing to watch human being do, and I know I can't do it, so I'll watch people do it. But yeah, so that'll be fun. So hopefully you guys will go see that. And then Brian Callen, we're going to see him.
Hell yeah.
Is that this month? February? Yeah, 28th, something like that.
29th, February 28th.
The Funny Bone?
At the
Omaha?
Funny Bone, Brian Callen.
I think there's a bunch of good people coming, but I know Brian's
there
going to
are.
be in town. Cool. Outside of that, here's the ditty.
Yeah. I wrote this song called Rectangular for our band, Mr. McMoney, and we're playing this Friday. We're playing Friday at the
Hey,
Zoo
when
Bar.
are you guys playing next,
Friday.
man?
We're playing Friday at the Zoo Bar.
Lincoln
Valentine's
Exposed
Day.
or something like that?
Lincoln Exposed.
This Friday.
This Friday.
At the Zoo Bar.
At the Zoo Bar.
Both your bands.
Both bands.
What time does it start?
Well, it starts at like 7.
Yeah,
but
what time do you guys go on?
Midnight.
Duh.
We're closing
Midnight.
it.
Closing it out. Mr. McMoney, Pure Brown, Jesse Butterfield. Go see him this Friday, Valentine's Day.
Here we go.
Yeah. Dude, I just took so many right-hand turns.
Woo!
It's
hard.
I don't know how you did that, but you just turned sound into an actual rectangle.
It's like I named that song from that scene in Pulp Fiction when Uma Thurman is just like, "Don't be a," and it's a rectangle. So I called it Rectangular.
I love it. Seriously. Okay, that's it.
Well, on behalf of Levi Words and Lost and Flowed here at the Post World Podcast, I'm Jesse Butterfield. Good night, Austin, Texas, wherever
See
you
you
are.
guys Friday night. Super.